So we're excited to have Bruce Kallen as a speaker today. He has vast experience in residential and commercial uh, properties in real estate, and he's going to share some of his experiences with us. And we're excited. I don't know if he has time to go into some of his background because we all know him from real estate, but not prior. Might be nice to know where he came from, his background. But if he doesn't have time, that's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to Bruce, and we're excited to hear from you, Bruce.
Thanks, Gene. Okay, so I came from my mom, and she's 86 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday, Mom!
So yeah, I saw her this morning, and it was great. So anyway, as far as my history, I've lived here all my life. Been here since I was a year old, primarily in Apple Valley, but I lived in Hesperia for a while. So grew up here, went to school here, was active in sports, had major knee surgery when I was a junior in high school, so that kind of cut out any aspirations of athletics that I had. Been working pretty much all my life. From when I was 14, my family was in the grocery business. I have a grocery business background, worked for Vons, became the youngest key carrier that they had in their system, the youngest grocery manager. When I was 19, I was running a crew of 20 people. So went from grocery to food distribution. When I was, there's a noise going on here. I don't know who that is, but anyway, went from that, went into food distribution. Basically, it was a route that I did deliver to stores. So the guy that I worked for, he decided to move to Colorado. I was probably about 23 years old. So I bought him out, bought his truck, bought his inventory, took over the lease on the warehouse that he had, and started my own business. Actually, I ran that business for 30 years. I was in my 30th year when I sold the business, which was about, I want to say 7-8 years ago. So I got my license for real estate in 2005. I got my broker's license about 5 years ago. As far as real estate goes, I was working part-time while I had my other business. I would work. I drove a delivery truck. Basically, that was my job. Would go to clients' houses if I didn't know the people that I was dealing with. I'd park my step van down the street, change my clothes, come out of the step van, act like I was walking down the street, go to the house, meet the people, and then tried to be as professional as I could be in a non-professional other environment that I was with. But as far as my real estate experience goes, I bought my first piece of property when I was in high school. So it was a lot on Coal Creek Lane in Spring Valley Lake that I paid $2,000 for, put $500 down, and made payments of $50 a month. So back in those days, that was 1976. It was easy to buy land and then keep it, then sell it. Hopefully something happened in the meantime where you make a little bit of money. Some of you guys, I'm looking at the screen, will remember a guy by the name of Lenny Brewster. So that was kind of where I picked up everything I knew when I was a kid. So from that point forward, I've bought a lot of different land, subdivided land, built houses, zone changes, bought a lot of different things, sold a lot of different things over the years. I always had an interest in real estate. When I got my license, it was because a friend of mine was selling his house, and he talked to an agent that gave him a lot of information, and he talked to me about it, and I said, that's a bunch of bull. You need to do it this way. And so he did, and he made an additional 20 grand on his house, and then he said, you got to get your license. So that's what prompted me to do it. And then I went full-time right at 7 years ago, 7 years ago, when Shear Realty, I was with Shear for 11 years altogether, decided to help me out with a commercial office. So I've always had an interest in commercial real estate. I've got a business background. My wife owned a business. I've owned a business. We've owned several. So through the years, we've had a lot of things going that kind of led me to where I'm at now. Starting out primarily residential in a market that was really hot. in 2005, 2006, I thought, man, this real estate stuff's the easiest thing I've ever done. So in 2007, then I realized real estate's the hardest thing I've ever done. So for those of you that have been around since then, we had a crash. We went through some times, a big REO market, a lot of different things going on. So in this business, I've seen it go up. I've seen it go down even before when I was not a real estate agent. So that being said, when I started, I had good mentors. The brokers that I had were knowledgeable. They were also empowering to basically let me do what I knew I could do. I don't have any real formal training. Took some college courses, went to VDC, strictly business investing, that kind of thing, but nothing that I would say has helped me. The thing that's helped me the most is just hands-on. My work ethic is different than a lot of people. I work pretty much all the time. I enjoy to work. I don't take a lot of time off. I work to me is not work. It's everybody in my life knows that about me. So they just let me do my thing, and it's been great. So what I want to do in this presentation with you guys is kind of go over some commercial with you. I know this site, the people involved, and I've been kind of watching, and it's primarily residential agents, and not sure how well I fit in with that, but I'll give you as much information as I can to help you. I appreciate the fact that Gene and Dwayne and Michelle think I'm worthy enough to actually be on here to speak to you guys. So I'm not one to like toot the horn and tell you a lot of things, but I have a lot of experience. I've done a lot of business. I think I have something to offer, and I appreciate the opportunity to at least throw it out there. Most of the time, these kind of things I pay attention to. I'm usually pretty busy. Those of you that know me know we're in the middle of an office transition, and I've got a million things on top of my plate. But if I have the time and I can learn something new or go to a class or soak in a webinar, I always look at it like if it's an hour of my time and I just get one thing out of it, then it's a success, and it's something that I can take away, something that I can apply later. So I hope I'm able to do that today. And the other thing I'll mention, and I'll probably say it again, I'm the kind of person, it doesn't matter if you work in my office, if you work in another office. I've got a thing going right now with an agent that I knew. Her son and daughter-in-law are starting a business, so I'm doing some stuff to help them. Depending upon what it is that you call me on, sometimes it's no big deal. I'll just answer your questions and I can help you that way. Sometimes if it's more involved and I feel like it's something that maybe you should turn over, then there'll be a referral, that kind of thing. But for the most part, that's not my goal. I appreciate the fact that anybody thinks that I'm good enough to even talk about whatever it is they're on. If I know the answer, I'll definitely give it to you. If I can help you in some way in your own business, I'm definitely up for that. And that's regardless of you working in my office or another office or whatever.